morning everybody. So in this video we will discuss one more question on structure which is already asked in previous year university question paper. So this time we will discuss a question from May 2017 paper. So let us read the question carefully. Question is, what are structure? Comment on nested structure, and then we have to write a program to read title, author and price of 10 books using array of structure, and then we have to display the records in ascending order of the price. Remember here the parameter that we have to consider are title, author and price, and while display we have to display all the books in ascending order of their price, means the book with the less price we have to display detail of that book first, and then so on. So let us begin with program. So here initially in the main function we have to define structure book. So struct book. How many parameters we have to consider? We have to consider three parameters. First one is book title. So title is a string. So for storing string we will require character array. So book title. Assign maximum size. Then we have to store book author. So author name will be again of type string. So for that again we will require one character array. So suppose book author, again assign maximum size for this, and finally we have to store book price. So for storing price we will define integer type variable, suppose C cost, book cost, okay, and then semicolon, close this. Now according to question we have to store records of 10 books. So here we have to create array of book structure. So how to create array? Here array name B, and how many records we have to store? 10 records. So with size 10 and then semicolon. Now after execution of this book structure, after execution of this code in the memory, there will be 10 rows compiler will create, where every row is divided into three parts. First part of every row, in the first part of every row we will store book title, then in second part we will store book author, and in third part we will store book cost. So likewise there will be total 10 rows. Okay, so here empty structure will be created after execution of this code. Now we have to store details in that structure. So for storing detail we will use for loop. So for loop we will require one variable. So I am defining that variable over here. Then clear screen to clear previous output screen. Now we have to accept the details from user and we have to store them in structure. So how many books we have to consider? 10 books. Okay, so how to write for loop? I is equal to 0, then I less than 10, and then I plus plus. So open for, initially we have to take book title of first book. So we have to display message for user, printf. Here message will be like enter title of first book. At first iteration it has to display first, then at second iteration it has to display second. So in general here we'll write %d book. You can give /n here and value of %d, just like our all previous program on structure. We will take value of %d from I plus 1 variable. So after execution of this line on output screen you will get statement like enter title of, So at first iteration I0, 0 less than 10 to come inside. So I zeros, this will become 0 plus 1. So while display this statement, we will get like enter title of first book. So after getting this message, user will enter title of first book. So we have to store that in memory. So for storing that, we will use scanf. So book title, its type is string. That's why format specifier is %s. And at which location we have to store title of first book and b of I dot bt. So at first iteration I is 0. So whatever title that user will enter of first book, that title will get stored at b of 0 dot bt location. Now similarly we have to take book author from user. So again for author display message, enter author name of %d book. You can give /n and value of %d, just like previous printf, will take it from I plus 1. So after getting this message, user will enter author name. So author name, again it is of type string, so format specifier is %s, and that author name we have to store at b of I dot ba, book author, and then semicolon. Similarly here we will take book price as well. So display message, enter price or cost of %d book. Again you can give /n over here, and then %d value we will take from I plus 1, semicolon. Then user will enter cost type. Here cost type we have given integer, so in scanf percent format specifier will be %d, and at which location we have to store that, and b of I dot cost, that is c. That is the variable that we have defined in this structure over here. So close for. So what is purpose of this for? This for is used to store details of books in structure. Now according to question, after storing all the details of the book, now while display we have to display the books in the ascending order of their price. Means we have to sort here this structure in ascending order of the price of books. So if we want to sort this structure, then we have to use nested for. So for will be like this, I is equal to 0, then I less than n, I plus plus. See here the sorting code will be just like sorting array. For sorting array we use nested for. In the same way here for sorting structure also we have to use nested for. So we have to use one more for within this for sorting. So for inner for also we will require one variable. So I am defining that variable over here. Now we will write inner for j is equal to, here we have to write I plus 1. For sorting we have to write code like this. Sorting logic we already discussed in detail in array. So j less than 10, and finally j plus plus. Okay, now according to question we have to sort this structure in ascending order of the cost. Okay, So if the cost of zeroth index book is greater than the cost of first index book, then the cost of first index book we have to store in the cost of zeroth index group, and the cost of zeroth index book we have to store in cost of first index group. Now see here, we have to use if here for this. If when we have to swap when the cost of zeroth index book is greater than the cost of first index book, then we have to write swapping logic. So initially see here how to write condition. So cost of zeroth index book initially we have to retrieve. So zeroth index book cost is stored at which location? B of 0 dot C. So here if B of 0 we will take from I variable. Okay, so B of I dot C is greater than, so initially I is 0 here, so this will become like B of 0 dot C, means actually that is the cost of first book. If the cost of first book, we have to compare that cost of first book, we have to compare with cost of second book. So cost of second book is stored at B of 1. So that one we will take from this J variable. So how to write? If B of I dot C is greater than B of J dot C, if this condition is true, then we have to store value of B of J dot C in B of I dot C and value of B of I dot C in value of B of J dot C, means we have to swap. So for swapping we will use temporary variable. So here that temporary variable I am defining, temporary variable. Okay, so if this condition is true, then we have to swap. So how to write code? E is equal to B of I dot C, then B of I dot C is equal to B of J dot C, and B of J dot C is equal to E. Now here see, here we swap only cost. Okay, I am giving comment here for this. Here in next 3 lines, see, we swap what? Swap cost of all cost of books. Okay, so but actually here in structure along with cost we define 2 more parameters, that is book title and book author. So while sorting structure, now here there is a difference in sorting array and sorting structure. In sorting array we are just writing only 3 lines because there we are dealing with only one parameter in sorting array, but here in structure we are dealing with 3 parameters as far as this program is concerning. First parameter is cost, then title, and then author. So while sorting structure where there is a difference, we have to swap all available parameters. So here we swap only what? Only book cost. So along with book cost we have to swap book author as well as book title. Okay, so here there is a difference in sorting array and in sorting structure. So after swapping cost, here we will swap author of a book. Okay, now see again where there is a difference. Cost is of type what? Cost is of type integer, but author and title they are character array because they are string. So if we want to copy one string into another, then we have to use string copy function. And if we want to use string copy function, then we have to include string.h in program. String.h. So let us first include string.h. Now what I said, after swapping cost, you have to swap author as well as title, but author and title are of type string. So if you want to swap value of type string, then we have to use string copy function. See here how to use string copy. String copy, what we have to swap, if this condition is true, then the author name of this book we have to store in author name of this book. Means here, instead of swapping cost, now we have to swap author as well as title. Okay, so again, if we want to swap author and title, then here we have to define temporary array. Okay, so temporary book author, suppose size 100, and one more temporary array we have to define, that is temporary book cost, not book cost, book title. Okay, so for swapping we know that we require temporary variable. So this t variable is for cost, this tba array is for book author, temporary book author, and this is for temporary book title. Okay, so here we have to swap what? First author. Okay, so if this condition is true, then author name of this book b of I dot c we have to store in temporary book author. Okay, so in which array we have to store? Temporary book author. Okay, and from where we have to store? From this location b of I dot book author. So after execution of this line, what will happen? This book author name will get stored in tba. Okay, then strcpy. Now in t b of I dot ba we have to store b of j dot ba. Okay, so how to write this? B of I dot ba. In b of I dot ba we have to store value of b of j dot ba. And finally in b of j dot ba, b of j dot ba we have to store temporary value. Okay, semicolon. So here we swap what? Author name. Here we swap cost, and now we have to swap title as well. So here let's give comment swap title of a book. Okay, so how to swap title is again of type string. So temporary array tbt we have defined, and here bt book title. Okay, so if the above condition is true, if this condition is true, then now strcpy in temporary book title array we have to store value of what? B of I dot book title. Similarly here strcpy, now in b of I dot bt we have to store value of b of j dot bt. And finally in b of j dot bt, we have to store value of temporary bt. And then close this if I am closing here. So actually in this part there is a difference in sorting array and in sorting structure. In array we are dealing with only one parameter at a time, but unlike that, here in structure we are dealing with more than one parameter. So while sorting structure, it is not necessary that we have to sort only cost. Along, if you sort cost, then all associated parameter of that a particular book also you have to sort, rather swap. So initially first here we swap cost, then we swap author, and then we swap title. Okay, now close inner for, then close outer for. Okay, now what is purpose of this nested for? This nested for is used to sort structure according to cost, according to cost. Okay, now see, let us review this program once again. So here initially we define this structure in this portion, then using this first for, we store details in the structure like title, author and cost. Then we use this nested for. This nested for means for within for, and using this nested for we swap cost, author name and title of all the books according to the cost. That's why here while writing condition, cost parameter that we have used, and while sorting other parameters also we have to consider. Now after execution of this nested for in the memory, only compiler will came to know that now user has sort all the books according to the cost. Now we have to display structure after sorting. So if you want to display structure after sorting, then here you can first display general message printf details of all books. Here you can give /n, then semicolon. Now we have to print structure after sorting. So if we want to print, then once again we have to use for. So I is equal to 0, then I is less than, here I is equal to 0, I is less than 10, and I plus plus. Now we have to display details of all the books. So here we have to use printf function. So see here how to write statement. First of all, let us display book title. So here we can display printf display message like this: title of %d book is. It has to display actual title, so type of title is string, so that's why here %s. So %d value will take from I plus 1 variable, and %s, that is actually the name of the location where the title is stored. So it is what b of I dot bt. So here we can give /n so that it will just display message in proper format. Okay, now similarly we have to display author as well. So printf author of %d book is. Author name we have to display, so author name again of type string, so %s /n comma, see here by mistake I have given a dot, not dot, here give comma, so comma I plus 1, again comma, and we have to mention name of variable where book author is stored, so it is b of I dot book author, semicolon. And finally now we have to print cost of %d book is. Cost, actual cost, it is of type integer, so this time here %d, and then /n comma, first %d will take from I plus 1, and second % is to display cost, So here second variable name will be the name of the location where cost is stored. So it is what b of I dot c semicolon. So everywhere give slash n, close this. So what is purpose of this for loop? It is used to display structure after sorting. After sorting in ascending order of cost. In ascending order of cost. Okay, so finally here we can give get ch, and then I am closing this main function. Okay, so let us save this program. Save. Once again we'll revisit this program. So here in this portion we define book structure, then using this first for we store details of all books, then using this nested for we sort the book details according to the cost. Here though we have to sort it in ascending order of cost, here while writing condition we are just taking what cost parameter, but in structure along with cost we have to swap all other parameters as well. So here here we swap cost, then we swap author, and then we swap title, and finally using this for loop we display all the book details after sorting structure according to cost of particular book. So let's compile this program. Zero error. Execute this one. Observe here title, the message that we are getting, enter title of first book. Okay, so say suppose latest. Now what we'll do is actually this will ask the details of 10 books because we iterate for loop 10 times. Okay, so what we'll do is we will just reduce that count. Okay, for simplicity here instead of taking array size as 10, we'll just take array size as suppose 4. Okay, so here if we take array size as 4, then in the for also we have to write 4, in second for also you have to write here 4. Okay, here at this point also we have to write 4, and then while display also we have to write 4, and while writing answer in final paper you have to write 10 because in the question they have mentioned that we have to store details of 10 books, but here for simplicity I'm just reducing size of number of books. Okay, so let us compile this program once again. And one more thing is I think here while display, okay, so title, just compile this and run. Enter title of first book. Okay, suppose let us see, enter author Kanitkar, and cost, suppose cost of book is 300. Okay, now we have to provide details of second book. So say suppose Java, so author name suppose Smith, and I'm providing cost of Java book as say suppose 200. Okay, then third book, suppose third book suppose C sharp. Okay, I'm providing now author name. Okay, let us provide dummy data, suppose Singh. Okay, and enter cost of third book. Okay, so say suppose it is 700. Now we have to provide details of last book because we make modification there. We reduce size to 4, so we have to provide now title of fourth book. suppose maths. Okay, then author name of fourth book. So say suppose Kumbhoskar. Okay, and cost of fourth book suppose 600. Now you just observe this data carefully. I have provided the details of four book. Okay, first book is let us see, and its cost is 300. Then second book is Java, its cost is 200. Then third book is C Sharp, cost I have provided is 700. And last book is of maths, and cost is 600. Now if I press enter, then while display, it has to first display details of the book whose price is less. Means it has to first display details of C sharp book, because out of this four here, C sharp book is having cost 200, which is the less. Then it has to display the details of latest C, because after C sharp I have given the cost of latest C book as 300. And then it has to display the details of maths, and then finally it has to display details of C sharp. Finally it has to display details of, sorry, so in this case, see, the cost of latest C I have given 300, Java I have given 200, and C sharp I have given 700, and maths I have given 600. So first of all it has to display the details of Java, then it has to display details of latest C, then it has to display details of maths, and finally it has to display details of C sharp, because Java is 200, latest C is 300, and maths is 600, and C sharp is 700. So let us verify the output. See here, title of first book is Java. Okay, so here observe cost. Initially it has display books with the less cost, it is 200, then followed by 300, then 700. Then details of uh, I think something is missing, because after uh, C sharp, say after let us see, it has to display maths. So let us verify program once again where there is a problem. Let us execute this program once again. So first book, let us see, author, and it here, cost suppose 200, then Java, cost suppose 100, then C sharp, same, cost suppose 300, finally math, Kumbhoskar, the cost of fourth book is, say suppose 70 rupees. Let us verify output. For 70, then 200, then 300. The title of fourth book is Java. C sharp, where there is a C sharp seems 300. Then math Komboskar 70. It is displaying last record. Where there is a problem. So this is all about this program. Thank you for watching my tutorial.